definitely going to be fetch a forest. Has life in the loam targeting that. Okay. It's a little bit of a slower start. We could have also Mox Diamond there, but I think dredging with life in the loam first is fine. Alright, so Thoughtseize targeting us. So yeah, not having Mox Diamond up here is a little bit unfortunate, but opponent also gets to see that we have Karn. Not sure how that influences what they take, as well as this Living Wish. So like I said, opponent will definitely have more interaction for us than we will for them. So next turn we're just going to dredge the life from the loam. And we're going to probably play out... Alright, let's see. Opponent took the crop rotation. The card they're most familiar with is the one they took. Alright, so we're just going to yield through this turn. Our turn, we are going to dredge, because we have the guaranteed fetch. Let's go ahead and take a look at our hand. Crocus was a great hit there. We're going to Mox Diamond here. Pitchwood, Foothills, Life in the Loam, targeting these three, and then we're going to Wasteland them. Let's go ahead and take them down a land. They could have Elvish Spirit Guide and crop rotation, but it doesn't look like they did. So unfortunately I don't have a Twitter yet, but I will make one. I am trying to grow my brand, and I'm obviously very, very new at this. Oh, they went and got a forest. Elvish Reclaimer. One has so many 1-drops. Alright, let's go ahead and still dredge his life in the loam. Hit a Dark Depths, that's pretty good. So let's see, if we grab Ancient Tomb, Wasteland, Dark Depths. Pretty sure opponent has a harder time winning if we just have the Wasteland in play. I think here, though, I'm just going to play Wasteland and pass. Mox Diamond's good. So now there's something to be said for playing the Karn out next turn, depending on what the opponent does here. Alright, looks like the opponent's just going to pass through the turn. Alright, Sylvan Scrying. Alright, go get your... probably a basic land again, and just going to put it into play. It's a shame we can't draw a Zoo set. Karn and kill Mox. I actually don't have to kill the Mox if I play a Karn, because Karn is also, for some unknown reason, Stony Silence. Although, yes, it is free to uptick on it, there is also no upside to it. So, we can either play... either way, we're tapping down. So, but they have pressure. There is upside. Alright. Alright, I'm going to believe you here. I'm going to go ahead and play out this Caracas. So my fears, of course, if they have Elvish Spirit Guide, they can crop rotation instant speed. They have a 3/4. Okay, sure, they do have a 3/4. I guess they also had Tarmogoyfs and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so is this... then do we just instead play Dark Depths and Living Wish for Thespian Stage and combo them next turn? Is that the line instead? I don't think they're on the turbo version either, but they did show us crop rotation game 1. But I guess Elvish Spirit Guide's not there. That's fair. So, is it Dark Depths and Living Wish for that combo, or is it Karn uptick on the Mox, and if so, do I play the Caracas? I don't understand that not blue decks, don't ask me. Ah, Andrea never change. Alright, let's go ahead and Living Wish. I like this line also because it holds up Wasteland until we combo. So let's cast Living Wish. Get the other half of our combo. We will use its ability. We will grab Thespian Stage. So if we put Dark Depths into play, there's a chance they make a 20/20, but I think that's what we want, right? So we have Caracas. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do this and pass the turn. So this incentivizes our opponent to, please don't have an Elder Spirit Guide opponent. I'd be so sad if I was right. So we get to pass with Wasteland up is the upside of this play, and still have Wasteland up when we go for our combo on our turn. Hex Mage. That seems fine. I mean, is the opponent going to be very kind and remove all the counters from our Dark Depths? That would be very nice of them. Looks like they're doing it to their own Dark Depths, so we're going to Wasteland them here. They're going to make a 20/20 in response. Yep. This is one of the upsides of doing this. Oh, I appreciate you. Alright, so we won't destroy their land, but they have a 20/20 that we get to bounce with this Caracas. So we're going to untap. We're going to draw. Elvish Spirit Guide was a pretty good draw there, but I believe we just need to answer this 20/20. Because if they just give protection from black next turn or grab their Caracas, we do lose. So Caracas, bounce their legendary thing. Alright, cool. Now we can Life from the Loam, targeting 2 Wastelands. And pass the turn. So next turn, we Thespian Stage and just try to make our 20/20. Seems pretty good. Hex Mage is good. Oh, they have another one, huh? Well, Hex Mage is pretty good, a pretty good combo here. So you're right, this 3/4 is definitely put in work. We don't need to dredge Life in the Loam. Got one anyways. So I think we run back the Wasteland line. Especially since they have it already in play, this thing. So it's kind of unfortunate. If we had taken Biaggi's play earlier of removing the Mox Diamond, they wouldn't have been able to make all of these 20/20s. Alright, sweet. So the opponent's going to hit us for 5 here. Guess we could have also cast this Spirit Guide as a blocker. First strike combat damage, sure. Good thing we have this additional blocker, otherwise this goof would be the game. So, it's Wasteland. Yeah, he's a big one, that's for sure. Floating a green. Sure. Is this crop rotation? Yes, yes it is. That's pretty good for them. Aha! Okay. This does not currently bounce anything, so... yeah. Opponent got us good. So we're dead. There's literally no play we currently have access to that would get it for us, because even if we bounce this, they have us dead, so let's go ahead and play this. Discard this word, Foothills. This is Karn makes 1 mana, not 3, so I can't make an Ensnaring Bridge, and it's 2 mana. It's still not quite enough, right? Yeah. Unfortunate. We were 1 short of being able to bridge this turn, which would have kept us alive. At least against the Merit Lage. We still die to the Elvish Reclaimer because we have to use Ancient Tomb. So, good games from our opponent. They won the match. Let's get started for round 2. So, for those of you just tuning in, this is a mono-green land stack. It's kind of a brew of mine. It runs Chalice of the Void and Karn the Great Creator as a payoff for not being black. Opponent there definitely had the very hot line of Wastelanding us for crop rotation, so they definitely had played similar mirrors before, probably had more experience than I did. Their deck's also very similar in basis to ours, but like I said at the during sideboarding, they definitely have more interaction for us than we do for them. So let's see what we're going to play against next. Ideally, we play against either some slow blue decks or some creature decks without any lands that interact with us. I realize that those don't exist. To be expected. Alright, let's join the match and see what we're against next. We won the die roll. We're against the person named Prehistoric Mop. So it's unfortunate if this hand had more lands, we'd be able to keep it, but we don't, so we're going to mulligan it. And this one looks keepable. This one's a turn 3 combo. Alright, let's go ahead and keep this. Bottom the fetch. Mox Diamond. Pitch Ghost Quarter. Play Forest. Sylvan Scrying. And let's go get our Thespian stage. Okay, well the last thing that we can be interacted with through counter spells we've cast. We have now cast every spell that we need to cast in order to win this game, assuming our opponent isn't killing us. Island, that's a good start. And a Ponder. Alright, so possible decks our opponent can be right now. I'm going to go with Sneak and Show. As that is not a snow-covered island, so this is very important to note. That means they are not playing Astrolabe, which means they're not the Jeskai Mentor decks. We can rule that one out. They could be Storm with their 1 basic island, but let's not hope for that. So they did not shuffle off their Ponder and passed. So what we do here is we just Thespian Stage and pass. What we can do is make Thespian Stage a basic island or forest. It'll be forest, because then it's immune to Wasteland. So if the opponent gets a little zealous with a Wasteland here. Also, if they just cast Show and Tell, could end very, very well for us. Alright, let's go ahead and copy the forest. Yeah, I also feel it's Sneak and Show with Misty Rain Forest. Which, Sneak and Show's fine. I have to put in this Dark Depths, which is a little... Ooh. So yeah, I don't want to be vulnerable to counter spells, so I still just play Dark Depths here and pass. Could still be Stoneblade, I guess. Misty Rainforest is a little bit rougher of a fetch out of that, but sure. And it could be Delver. None of our spells we cast is really something they would have wanted to counter, so that's fair. If it's Delver or Stoneblade, we want to make the 20/20 right now. Is there a deck that punishes us? Alright, so guys, quick question. Do we make the 20/20 now? Or at their end step? I think we should do it their upkeep either way. So either way, I think we should do it during their upkeep. Or during their end step. So that's the question. Do we do it during their end step where they'll have less interaction? Or do we think that they'll have more interaction during their upkeep? Straw poll, chat. What do you think? I do have crop rotation for Wasteland. I say do it now. Make them have an answer. You know what? Centeno and I definitely have a similar Magic philosophy. So we're going to go ahead and go to their upkeep. Ooh, Brainstorm. Okay, this is fun. If they fetch a white land, do we worry about Council's Judgment? I guess we're not here to be afraid, right? We're here to make 2020s. Could be that the correct play is to wait till end step. Let's go ahead and see if they fetch here. Oh, good, they did fetch during end step, so we get a little more information. If they grab Tundra, it's more likely that they have Council's Judgment. Alright, they are 1000% Sneak and Show. So, unfortunately, Centeno, oh, are you here to win or not be afraid? Well, crop rotation for Caracas is where it sounds like it's at now. And our opponent can't kill us, so we're going to go ahead and make our 2020. So, boom. Alright, opponent. This is my 2020. It is large and indestructible. Please do not put in a hasty Emrakul. Please and thank you. Alright, so we just get to yield through this turn. And if opponent puts in a blocker, we do get... Oh, we should yield till next end step. The reason why is because if the opponent casts Show and Tell, we can put in a Windswept Heath, fetch Caracas, and bounce their dude. So they're less likely to be able to sneak attack us, which is great news for us. Yeah, looks like our 2020 got there. Make them answer it. So the good news is, by showing us that, it's potential that there's still Delver, but I'm feeling Sneak and Show with that Misty, because I know when I played Sneak and Show, I played 3 Misty Rainforest. So, against Sneak and Show, let's see. Feel like we want Reclamation Sage. Feel like we want Zusa, and I feel like we want Croson Grip. I think that means we can cut 2 Living Wishes. I think crop rotation's a little less exciting. It could still be Blue-Red Delver. So I think we keep in Chalice of the Voids either way. And I'm pretty sure that the opponent is not expecting Chalice of the Void. So let's see. The question here is, do we bring in Sorcerer's Spyglass? So if we leave it in the board, we have every Karn to tutor for it. If we bring it in, it has to be cast. It can't be bugged. They fetched a Volcanic Island. So I have Microsith Lattice, Trinisphere, Ensnaring Bridge, Crucible of Worlds, Liquimetal Coating, and Tormod Script. So I could bring in the other Caracas here, which I think is probably fine. Especially if they're traditional Sneak and Show, they won't have potentially access to Omniscience. Unfortunately, I've seen it has become the common adaptation. When I played Omniscience, it was considered the bad version. So do we bring in Spyglass, though? Yeah. So, do we bring in Spyglass? I think we're good cutting down to just one... I think we're good cutting a Life in the Loam because we're not going that long. But am I good cutting 2 and bringing in the Spyglass? I think that's probably correct, so we're going to give that a go. Alright, opponent, let's see what you're doing for game 2 here. They choose to be on the play. And we have a hand that makes a turn 3 20/20 or puts a Caracas on the battlefield. So we're going to keep this. My question for my viewers, though, is do I immediately crop rotation for Ancient Tomb? If I do, and they're Delver, things go real bad. If I do that and it resolves, once again, that is the last spell we have to resolve in order to put lethal on the board. Because Thespian Sage, Dark Depths. Oh, also not included on your list, but it could just be Miracles fetching Volcanic Islands instead of Tundra. Unlikely, but if they were trying to give false information knowing that they couldn't beat the 20/20, it's what I would do. Just throwing that out there. Especially if they already had like planes in hand to potentially draw into Swords to Plowshares. So we're going to yield through this turn and see what the opponent does on 1. Okay, so the opponent looks like they're Rug, or they could be Eureka Tell. There's no good reason to do it now, but if by getting an Ancient Tomb into play, this Karn the Great Creator becomes a very castable card. Main phase Brainstorm. Yep, so taking bets, I'm thinking Eureka Tell still. Who wants to think Eureka Tell? Who wants to think it's Delver? Taking bets? Biagi, you're the Teamer Delver expert here. You tell me, is this Teamer Delver I'm sitting across from? It could still be Storm. Oh my god, couldn't it still just be Storm? Wouldn't that just be wonderful? Good old Storm playing whatever the hell basics they want. Good news is if they are Storm, most of our sideboarding does nothing. Double Tropical Island, so this is Eureka Tell. So, little known fact, Eureka actually lets you... Oh, this is Show and Tell. Okay. Do a crop rotation for Caracas. I think we just let this resolve, right? They're playing Basic Island and a Red and 6. Rex Sage and hope to get lucky? Okay, I can get behind that. So we did not get lucky in the traditional sense, but we will be able to crop rotation and answer this Emrakul if they can't answer this crop rotation. They can, so now we're just taking a natural draw step at it. We get 2 natural draw steps at the Caracas. So draw step the first is not. So, unfortunate. The opponent's last 2 cards were a Force of Will, of course. So we're going to get hit for 15 here and sacrifice our 1 permanent. And let's take a natural draw at one of the 2 Caracas in our deck. Some lists run some number of days. We'll have to remember that for game 3. Thank you, Biagi. Let's see what we got here. We can't play around days. We don't have to play around days if we draw Caracas because it's an activated ability. Caracas. Alright. Concede game. Alright, that's fair. What do we want to change? So, good news is we correctly put them on a Sneak and Show deck. That means I think I also want to bring in this Ensnaring Bridge, now that we know for sure. Probably not so hot on this K-Grip anymore. Maybe? Alright, well, that obviously would have been much better for us if that had been Eureka instead, but it was just regular old. Take out Spyglass on the play. You know, that's fair. Let's take out Spyglass. So do we bring in crop rotation here? K-Grip kills Omniscience. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, I'm in. Unfortunately, they do get to cast a spell with Omniscience before K-Grip kills it. I think we keep this. I think we actually plan on crop rotationing on one. Chalice on 0. I like that line too. Alright. Sure. Based on Chalice for 0, I think I can get behind that. So we get to go Chalice for 0. I like Chalice on 1 a lot more too, by the way. But by doing it this way, so they have to have Force here, right here. Do you have Force of Will opponent? You do not. So what we get to do is go grab Dark Depths and pass the turn. Well, it doesn't always slow them down turn. I'm pretty sure they have Ancient Tombs as well. Hopefully opponent's looking at 3 Lotus Petals very, very sad and wondering why... Ha! Centeno's a genius! Centeno, you are a genius. Apparently the 3 petals they play, they'll cast right into the Chalice, so yeah, that sounds pretty good. So for the record, I agree with you, Biaggi. I feel that we should have put this Chalice on 1. But then we cut off crop rotation, which means we only have half of our combo. This gives them 2 turns to kill us. And if they cast Show and Tell, it only gives them 1 because we get to put in Thespian Stage. Alright, so we get to put in City of Traders if they Show and Tell us here. So let's see if they Show and Tell us. Centeno, genius. There's a reason you're a far better Magic player than I am. I would have gone with his line and also put a Chalice on 1. Alright, so opponent casts Show and Tell. Alright, so last time putting in Reclamation Sage did not work out for us. If opponent has Omniscience here, we want Rec Sage. If opponent does not have Omniscience, we want City of Trader. I think we have to go with City, because if it's Emrakul again, we just die. It's Omniscience this time. Good. Good. We are dead. You did all plays different than what I would have done. Well, they did have it. And who thinks that 14 cards they're not going to find in Emrakul? You know what? I'm going to yield until the end step, but they're going to have it. So 100% should have put in the Reclamation Sage there. There it is. No, we are dead. We are 100% dead. We are good conceding the game at that point. Well done, Prehistoric Mob. So that was a little bit fun. So definitely should have put in the Reclamation Sage there. Would have caught the Omniscience. Turns out they actually had both. Chalice on 1, crop for Crocus. You can't crop rotation after you've Chaliced on 1. If you Chalice on, do that, you'll sacrifice your land and get no land. I definitely think Rec Sage on the Show and Tell was the call. However, it did end pretty poorly for us last game, and if we Rec Sage there again, if they put in Emrakul, we do lose the game. We have less than 6 permanents, even if we make a 20/20, it can't block Emrakul due to the Annihilator trigger. Also, thank you so much for following Cappolo42. I appreciate your follow. So let's see here. See what our opponent's on next. At least we know that there is... this deck's not easy. There's definitely lines upon lines. Anyone watching on YouTube in the future is going to go, man, this Capolo guy is a genius, and this Lucksack guy is just bad. Also, Snapkeep, kind of a genius there for the Chalice on 0. Other than that, they would have turned 1 to that Show and Tell. Alright, so what does this hand do? So this hand guarantees our combo on turn 4. Or cast Chalice on 2 and guarantees it on 5. I think this is a mulligan, right? So, input from you guys. Alright. Let's go ahead and take a mulligan. Alright, this one's going to be a keep. We're going to go ahead and bottom Wasteland. So we have the terrible line, if it comes to it, of hit ourselves with this, yeah. And on the play, I probably would have kept that hand as well. Okay, so recently I watched a stream of Eric Landon's where this person, Goalie, actually donated to see it played. By the way, Fetchland, they're amazing. It was just Mardu stuff. I don't remember the exact contents of the deck, but it is not a deck that plays counterspells. So if they are still on that, hopefully. Alright, thank you so much for hopping in, Centeno. Have a good one. Yeah, I like E.W. Landon's content. If anyone's watching that isn't already aware it exists, definitely check it out. Opponent's deck, I believe, also has K commands. Don't know if they have Wastelands. Can't remember, honestly. I know it's like Dark Confidants and stuff. Hymn to Turok. Well, as long as it doesn't hit Life in the Wood Foothills, we're fine. So, yeah. Good. We're going to actually dredge this. So, let's see here. Living Wish got dredged, so that's definitely going to be a little bit odd to our opponent. Let's go ahead and fetch here. Grab Snow-Covered Forest, and we'll Sylvan Scrying for another part of our combo. So we're going to go get the Thespian Stage. And I don't think there's a reason to Chalice on 0. I don't think the deck plays anything. That's awesome to hear. I've always enjoyed his content. And I actually recently donated for him to play, you'll know this one, my Mono Blue Rogues deck. On Monday, he'll be playing that. So Liliana is not going to do too much against us. Let's see what they mill over, because I assume they're going down. Alright, they're just going to try and race us that way. That's fine. So I can't remember if their deck plays Blood Moon. It would not surprise me to hear that their deck played Blood Moon. So let's go ahead and Life in the Loam here. And then do we just put a backup Chalice on one? It costs us 2 life to do. Probably fine, though. Hey, I appreciate it, Biaggi. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping in to say hi. So let's see here. Alright, so draw step. We're just going to go ahead and yield through this turn. We have no effects. We're just going to tick up their Lily and probably cast a 4-drop, it looks like. Leyline of the Void. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well then. We would not like to dredge. We will play out the Smox Diamond. Okay, let's go ahead and take away one of your colors, Goalie. Alright, that's pretty spicy. Didn't expect the Leyline of the Void there. So now we're taking natural draw steps at a 2020. We get a fair amount of them, mind you. Okay. Man, looks like these chalices didn't do anything against our opponent. Yeah, that's fine. Ghost Quarter goes to exile. Okay, we're drawing the cards now. That's fine. So we're actually going to make Thespian Stage copy Ancient Tomb so that we get more mana. And then we're going to go to our turn. And hope to draw a Karn. Living Wish. Alright, well, ironically gets our combo, but they have an Ensnaring Bridge now, so... Good news is if the opponent goes down to 0 cards in hand, they have to take 2 draw steps in order to start killing us with zombies. Bench grid's fine. Alright, so we're not making the 20/20 yet. We're drawing cards. Definitely playing out Ancient Tomb and passing the turn. Opponent will never have 20 cards in hand, so Ensnaring Bridge... Huh. Hindsight 20/20, we have a Reclamation Sage in the board. So if we draw... We should be making a 20/20, because if we... Yeah, thank you, Andrea. That is actually the line I just saw as well. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to pay painlessly, since it looks like we're probably going to experience a few zombie attacks. Alright, so... Living Wish... Does it. Living Wish. Ancient Tomb. That's not going to do it. Alright, so... We have a couple draw steps at it, though, right? So far, though, it doesn't look like we hit the other half of the combo either. So it's not... if we Living Wish for Reclamation Sage there, we do still have to... if we Living Wish for Reclamation Sage there, we still have to... Helm of... Oh, God, we just got Helm comboed. Alright, so we're going to concede the game because we don't want to reveal our whole deck. But Karn would have been the draw step, since apparently they have an artifact as their kill condition. Okay. K-Grip comes in. K-Grip definitely comes in. You know what's hilarious about this is actually if you look on my channel, there's a deck called the Lily on the deck. And it went terribly, but it was a Pox-based deck with the same win condition as our opponent. So, kind of excited to see. Let's see. So... Opponent's definitely going to lean on the Ensnaring Bridge. I think we bring in Sorceress Spyglass now. Probably also Azusa. Doesn't look like these Chalice of the Voids did very much there. So their deck does definitely look to be... I'd imagine it probably shut off Dark Ritual, but that's about it. Do we want to bring in redundant pieces of the combo? I think with 4 Ensnaring Bridges, it's fine. Alright, let's give this a run. We would like to be on the play. Alright, what does this hand do? So this hand's very good if the opponent doesn't have interaction for it and doesn't have super fast kill. Life and Malone we can assume will be Leyline of the Voided. I think this is probably still a keep, though. I believe I'll be playing this Wasteland, floating a green, and crop rotation it away. Assuming opponent does not have Leyline. Okay, opponent does have Leyline. Alright, so these crop rotations, not super good anymore. So let's... This seems fine still. Right? Because we float here, Elvish Spirit Guide, crop rotation this into a green source. It doesn't matter if it's fetch land, so let's go ahead and grab a basic. And then we still get Sylvan Scrying. It seems pretty good still. Grab a Dark Depths. Alright. We're in a pretty good spot, assuming the opponent doesn't have Ensnaring Bridge or Caracas or any of the other pieces of interaction they could have. Good news is opponent gets to duress our hand and see that our only other play was to crop rotation the Snow-Covered Forest. So they're going to take away our crop rotation. We're going to play out a Thespian stage and pass the turn. Life in the Loam reads 2 mana, discard a card currently, and I would prefer to be as protected against the Hymn to Torak as possible, which it looks like is what's about to happen to us. So I hope if we do get hymned, that Dark Depths is the last card left in our hand. Hymn to Torak. And it was. So very, very lucky of us there. We just need to draw into any land now to be able to make a 20/20. See what the opponent's got. This looks like Ensnaring Bridge. Thoughtseize, alright, takes away Life in the Loam. Ah, Bitter Blossom. That blocks for a minute. Cannot even cast that. Alright, let's go ahead and pass turn. Man, Bitter Blossom's a really good counter to Dark Depths, isn't it? Uh-oh. Land? Irony. We drew Irony, guys. So, looks like we're going to lose to these fairies. As the opponent will be swinging for 3 next turn. This does not matter. I guess we don't want to take a pain if we draw a Ancient Tomb. This is still fine. Yep. Well, we drew this about 18 turns too late, didn't we? So opponent takes 2 here. And we just don't survive 6 more turns. Alright, so currently we're surviving enough turns. Nah, this Liliana is going to ultimate on us. Alright, so I don't think we have anything on our deck that gives protection or the ability to get through these. We're going to try. See what we draw. That doesn't do it. Alright. Let's try and get in there with our 20/20. They are forced to chump block, so it's slightly better. Because otherwise they just downtick their Liliana and attack in for us. And Thespian stage pass. Alright, these Bitter Blossoms, great sideboard tech. Maybe their main board? For all I know, they're main board. Alright, we'll sack our 20/20 opponent. You got us. Alright, so down 12, and opponent has 6 power in play. Well played, opponent. Goalie, if you're watching this in the future, well played. So we are 0-3. Definitely could have played the Sneak Show matchup a little differently, especially in that game 3 to have still got there. A little unfortunate to die to Omniscience while we had Reclamation Sage in hand. Basically, the line we took is, do we want to die to Emrakul, in which case we put in Reclamation Sage, or do we want to die to Omniscience, in which case we put in City of Traders. I chose the City of Traders, they had the Omniscience. Sometimes in life, right? Alright. So let's see what we can do here for the next round. So far we're, yeah. That Mardu Helm deck definitely got there. Unfortunately, if they hadn't had that ley line, I felt like we might have had more of a game. Maybe we should have taken a mulligan. You know what? If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, please make it a point to leave a comment if you think I should have taken a different line at any point during this league. Like, I promise, in addition to not taking offense, it's a huge help for me as a Magic player. So, looks like we found our next opponent. We would like to be on the play. I still think we go for Chalice on 1. Even though it means we don't combo as quickly. There's a number of decks in the format where Chalice on 1 is just so crippling that it's worth putting out there. So, Wasteland, Spirit Guide, Chalice of the Void on 1. See what our opponent does from this. Alright, opponent does nothing for our Chalice of the Void on 1. Meaning it's either they did not have Force of Will, or this does not do anything against their deck. Let's find out which it is. Urborg. Oh no! Playing against this deck again. That's countered because we have a Chalice of the Void on 1. So the good news is, okay, so opponent concedes. So it's possible that the opponent, opponent Shame concedes the match after casting a Thoughtseize into a Chalice of the Void. Look, at 0-3 in the league, I'm going to go ahead and take that as a win. So, Chalice of the Void, powerful magic card, got us there. Man, that was kind of a bummer. Alright, see what we're against next. While this is going, you might see my face move a little bit, because I'm going to see if I can move the webcam and webcam frame. Maybe not. Let's see. Chat box is fine. Webcam. Just trying to move myself a little bit off to the side here. Wonder how that looks. Maybe up here, maybe down here. You know what? I moved around too much. Let's just leave it where it was. I'm just killing some time while we're waiting for our next round's opponent. Let's find out what we're against for our final match of this league. Aeron the Relentless. Aeron Relentless. Alright, what does this hand do? This hand has a combo and a Chalice of the Void, so we're going to go ahead and keep this. So we actually don't even have to use the City of Traders. We can just go cast Mox Diamond, pitch Dark Depths, Wasteland, and Chalice of the Void on 1. It was a little bit slower. We could definitely had turbo options with that hand, for example. But I think Chalice on 1, once again, is so backbreaking against so many decks in the format that starting off a little bit slower, but being able to start with that is worth it. So Sylvan Scrying there is a great pickup, so we're going to go ahead and Life in the Loam here. Put this into play and pass the turn. So next turn we will Living Wish or Sylvan Scrying, both get us there. Two of the opponent's casting here. Mountain. Okay, double basic. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Seems good. I'd rather just try and naturally draw it since I already have the combo. Yeah. Didn't, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and tap this. Play Mox Diamond. Discard City of Traders. Tap this. Sylvan Scrying. Definitely should have played the City of Traders, by the way, because then we could have cast both Living Wish and... Oh, I guess not. We only have one green source. So yeah, no, we did that right. We're fine. I am just overthinking things. Alright, opponent. You likely have a Wasteland. I fully expect a Wasteland from you. If you do Wasteland me, I understand. If you don't wasteland me, yeah. Alright, cool. So we got game 1 against the Dreadhorde Arcanist deck. So let's see what we can do here for games 2. So I snapped the Suzusa into my deck a lot because I really like her a lot better post-board. Let's see, opponent being a Dreadhorde Arcanist deck makes me want more of this main board and less of this wishing. Matter of fact, I'm just going to cut down 3 wishes and bring in the wish targets and submit. So the good news is the opponent also didn't see crop rotation there, so likely if they're seeing Chalice of the Void, they're probably not putting us on crop rotation. And admittedly, it is a non-bow. But it's kind of like, are you familiar with Eldrazi-tron? See, Eldrazi-tron plays Expedition Map and Chalice of the Void. The reason why is because Expedition Map is so powerful that it's worth playing a 1-drop in your Chalice of the Void deck to be able to fix your lands. We are also a lands-based deck that runs Chalice of the Void. Expedition Map might be better in the crop rotation spot, but I feel like since this is Legacy rather than Modern, crop rotation is just the strict upside. This hand has 1,000,000 lands in it. Let's mulligan. This one has a Mox Diamond into trying to get our combo twice. Let's keep this one. Alright, so we're going to keep all the ways for us to find lands, because if opponent has counter magic, we want them to, we want to be able to resolve more of these. Alright, so originally I was going to play a land before this Mox Diamond just to make sure it resolves. Now I'm kind of baiting my opponent into dazing this. Okay, opponent did not take the bait. I did not go for the daze. Okay, so this is our 1 wish in the deck, by the way. So, Sylvan Scrying. If the opponent counters this, I believe we just go, okay, and move to our next turn. Spell Snare. That's a good one. Okay, and we move to our next turn. If we draw an untapped land, we have 2 tutor effect. Oh, no, we only have 1. Okay. Opponent tapping out for Young Peasy. Okay, so if we just rip it off the top, then what we do is we just pass the turn. So the opponent probably feels that they have 1 turn to develop here. I feel the opponent's more likely to have a Wasteland than anything else, so we're going to go ahead and make the 20/20 right now. I don't want them to find that Wasteland. So let's go. See if the opponent concedes. They do not, which means they have outs in their deck now. Okay, go ahead, opponent. This is our 20/20. I feel like trying to dodge Wasteland the best we can is the best line there. Opponent could have Vapor Snag. I have been blown out by Vapor Snag before. Not things that are not a good feeling. That is not a good feeling. Okay, opponent plays second land. Okay, that was a great draw. They're going to flash it. Surgical Extraction on Dark Depths. Yep. So this is one scenario where I actually wish we had some in the board. Because then we would have been able to... Opponent might also just be stealing our deck list, which is totally cool by me, by the way. But I think their opponent intends to bounce this token. So if our opponent starts paying costs, we'll turn off auto yields. And if not, we're just gonna... Yep. So turn off auto yields. Nope, we just got there. All right, so we managed to run it back into the 2-3. So thanks so much for tuning in for this league. I am going to be back in about 10 minutes with another league. if you'd like to watch that one. It might be about 15. I try and upload each league as I play them. That way things are less likely to get corrupted and all that. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you see, please follow me on Twitch or subscribe on my YouTube. Your support is what makes this real. Thank you so much. Alex here with Lucksack Games. Hoping you have an awesome day.